Hello. Hello, everybody. As it says below, waiting for more people to join. But hi, JW. Hi, Connie. Thank you guys for joining me. Hi, Jen. Welcome. Glad you made it on this eventful Sunday, this drinking Sunday. Good old St. Patty's. Hi, Brown Sugar. How are you? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Connie, how have you been? JW, what's crack-a-lackin'? Yeah, I said it. I said it. I said that very old statement. All right. 14 people in the room. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, you guys, if you're already in the room already. Don't forget to do it. Let me pull up my notes for the good old... I think I didn't talk about season 13 of Love is Blind. I mean, episode 13. Season 13? Gosh. Now, if I'm still watching it by season 13, either it's gotten better as a show or the ratings are undeniable and I have to talk about it because I'd be missing out on money if I didn't. I mean, like, that's the only reason why I'd still be watching it at season 13. Because I by then it's going to be a completely different show. It's already a different show from season 1 to season 6. So season 13 is going to be wild. Okay. You know what I would like, though? I would like a Love is Blind, but everyone is 35 plus. That's what I want. Love is Blind 35 plus, a new track. Okay. Let's see. Did I talk about it with you guys? Did I? I don't know. I don't think we talked about Clay playing AD at the altar. And if we did, just let me know. Hi, Miss Iffy. Hi. Oh, JW, what a blessing. What a blessing. I wanted to get to 20 before we get started, but it's taking so long. Come on, people. I mean, maybe you're with your families. Or maybe you're at a bar. Okay, 17. 17 people in the room. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, you guys. Thank you, Pearl. Thank you. Hello to you too. Hi, Ladero. Hello. 3 more people and we can get this party started. Hopefully by the 10-minute mark. You know what I have in my head, and this ages me? My buddy, wherever I go, he'll always go, my buddy, my buddy and me, kid sister. I don't know why. I don't know why. 22 people. All right, here we go. Let's start at 9 minutes. 15 seconds, thereabouts. Hi, a whole 3. Hey everyone, my name is Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love is Blind Season 6, The Reunion. If you are new to my channel, I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love is Blind, Love After Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, and Seeking Sister Wife. If you are at all interested in that content, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it helps that little algorithm get out to people who love my content. So if you are all interested, do it. Just do it. Just bite the bullet. Now, if any time during this you get the hee hee ha ha's and you're like, I would like to give that girl a tip, you can do so with the methods below. If you are an international girly, you can just go a couple steps over and hit that thanks, which will allow you to give me some kind of YouTube based tip. But other than that, let's jump right into this episode and let's have a great, great time. Okay. So we're talking about the reunion. I don't know if I talked to you guys about Clay playing AD, but I will speak on it just for a second because I don't recall if I did or not. You guys have to tell me if I did. One, I think that Clay should not have taken her to the altar. Now, would we have missed out on that dress? Yes. Would we have missed out on the camaraderie of the women in her family and her mother being excited to see her and just looking great in that outfit that she wore? We would have missed out on that. So part of me is like, ugh. Also, we would have missed out on a really good conversation between a woman who dedicated 24 years of her life to a man that did not treat him well. And then he had the nerve to come on national TV with his lapel pin of the Divine Nine, one of the Greek, the prominent Black Greek fraternities. And it just did not do him any service at all. For some reason, I thought Clay was like Caribbean. And I don't know if the dad is Caribbean, a culture or whatnot, just like very American at this point. But I expected him to have an accent and he didn't, which is fine. I can't tell who Clay looks like, which is always concerning to me. It's not concerning because the truth is I think that's me and my family too. But to have that conversation where he's like, yeah, you just got to find yourself a good woman. I found you. And she's like, yeah, you didn't treat me right. Woo, come on, Rita. Come on, Miss Margarita. Come on, Miss Margarita. Yeah. Yes. What a dog. What a dog. He's a tramp, but they love him. Breaks a new heart every day. He is a dog, that man. He can't even recognize how his behavior contributed to Clay feeling the way that he does. And he couldn't even give Clay any good or sound advice because he didn't do it right at all. Marriage. I can't speak about anything else. Lynn J, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, Renee, thank you so much for being here. Let me tell you right now, they really, really love AD. I mean, they kept panning to her in the reunion to the point where I wanted to start taking account. It's like they wanted to see every reaction that this girl had, and I didn't understand it. Dedria, hi. So yes, I really enjoyed that interaction between Clay's parents. I think it was needed for all of, just the young women out there who stay in situations, the young people out there who stay in situations that do not serve them based on some archaic idea of how you should behave in cisgender heterosexual relationships or any relationship where you have one, I guess, I don't even know. I can't even say that's antiquated what I was about to say. But it's just crazy to me. As I get older, I'm starting to realize that as a society, I think we might need to let go of this everlasting idea of monogamy. I just think we need to let it go, because I don't think it serves anyone, especially the people who are damaged by it. And when I mean everlasting monogamy, I think I've said it before that there's a new idea that I heard somewhere where the younger generation may not be married forever. They may not see marriage as an institute in which they need to be in for all of their lives. They may be married 2 or 3 times without stigma. And they could have been good marriages that lasted 10, 7, 25 years of their lives because we're going to live longer due to technology. And so, but each of those being valid in their own right and not thinking of them as failing when they end. it just ends, right? Like you love this person, you're committed to this person, but at some point maybe it doesn't go the way you want to go or the way you want it to go, and people aren't happy, and so you just amicably end it. And you call it thanks for the good times and you move on to the next. And I think that's such a good way, I think, of thinking about it. So, and all the other ways besides monogamy, polyamory, all those other kinds. Anyways, so this show is definitely about cishet monogamy. Now, everybody looked great. I thought that Chelsea was wearing something so crazy. And I try not to talk too much shit about Chelsea because the internet is dragging her and her chin all through the streets. They are dragging mama. And I don't want to be part of that, even though I still feel like I subscribe to it a little bit. But it's because she was so ridiculous. She was so ridiculous. And it's a little embarrassing, you know? But she's not my friend. She's not me. And I wish her the best. But her outfit was crazy. Also, the amount of body glitter was very interesting. I don't know if some producer was like, hey, girls, guess what? We did a test with the lighting, and we think that everybody needs to be bronzed. I, at some point, thought that Sarah Ann had like vinyl. I thought her dress was like vinyl up here. You know how sometimes they do a nude illusion? I thought it was vinyl. I thought it was a nude illusion vinyl. I didn't know what was going on. I did not know what was going. Speaking of nude illusion, come on, AD. Come on, AD. Except for that dress was a little too see-through because here's the deal. I love nipple pasties. I'm not opposed to them. I think it's fine. But underneath those lights, we could see her nipple pasty. And I was like, it's better than the real thing for sure, but it was so obvious. The lighting did her no justice. And listen, if she knew that we could see the nipple pasties and it was okay with that look, then I'm okay with it too. Because she was beautiful. But she was like me, painted to the gods. And just like when you have on that much makeup, I mean, I don't even have a lot of makeup on, but I do feel like, the makeup is makeuping right now. Just so you know, this is all e.l.f. I did the camo, like one. And I need a setting spray. But these are my problems, not yours and not AD's. Okay. So I thought that I liked apparently Miss Lachey. No one's calling her Vanessa. Everyone's calling her Miss Lachey. And I don't know when that happened, but I guess she's like, call me Miss Lachey. So Vanessa looked great. I really enjoyed the fact that she was wearing this gown that had both of her knees out, and I thought her shoes were cute. She was wearing an excessive amount of body glitter as well, but it must be a style that I'm not aware of because here's the truth. I enjoy body glitter. So, but it was a lot on all of them. It was a lot. And Chelsea's face was matte. I was very happy for her. She didn't do her shiny cheekbone the way she does. I mean, she probably did, but like the rest of her face was very matte. And I thought it was great. The dress, though, I think she looked like some kind of exotic bird and not from a place I want to visit. So there's that. Brittany looked good. Kenneth was there. Jimmy looked better. I actually thought he was tall and kind of svelte in this. Jessica was good. I think Laura looked good. Even Sarah Ann in her own like Barbie interesting style way. She was cute, I think, for the style that she was trying to emulate. Okay, so Nick says, coming from the actual stage of Love is Blind, because I guess what they decided to do is sort of Big Brother style. They have like a sound stage somewhere and they set up pods with the dormitory so where they can like just erect this space and like break it down, I guess, or I don't know. But then they decided to do the reunion on the same sound stage. And I don't know if they've always done it that way and we just weren't aware. I don't know that we needed to be aware this time. I don't know. It didn't add any extra layer of fun for me, so it was unnecessary in my personal opinion. Then the next thing is they invited people from seasons 1 through 5 in order to promote Perfect Match, which is a spinoff show that Nick Lachey hosts by himself, where they take people from Hot or Not, Love is Blind, and like a couple of other Netflix shows, The Ultimatum, and they put them in like a Love Island kind of situation. And I'm just not interested. Like I watched like one or two episodes of it, and I wasn't interested. What's that? You know who they had on there? Joey or Joe, the guy who won maybe season one or season two of that like show where you can't see each other, and the one that Michelle Boutain hosts. I don't remember the name of that show either. They haven't given us another season lately. But anyways, so it's a lot of incestuous Netflix reality star situations. And so they put them in the show called Perfect Match to see if any of them will match each other. And at that point, it's just too many. It's just too much. Too much and too many, right? Okay. So those cast members are there. We've got Kwame and Chelsea to show, I guess, that they're still together. We talk about Bliss and whatever his name is. We've got Giovanna from season one and her new boo. And I was like, why? What? Okay. And then we had from season three, the Jewish girl and the cowboy. They're pregnant, which I knew from Instagram, but it was cute to see them. And Gianna's pregnant too. She's no longer a blonde. She is a dark-haired beauty, and she's pregnant as well. And everyone's really top secret about their baby names. Listen, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I just don't understand the reason behind it. Is it a superstition that you think if people know your child's name before they're born, they can put some like negative juju on it? That's all I want to know, because I just don't understand why. So if someone knows the reason why you wouldn't do that, or like just this other thing where people are like, she stole my baby name. I don't get that either, but it's because I've never been pregnant. And that's why I don't get it. So I would like to better understand that as well. Okay. Because I'm like, you're not picking this completely unique name, girl. Like you're naming your child like Amber Ashley or whatever, and you don't want anybody else to name their child Amber Ashley. It's just like really interesting to me. Or like, Scarlet Love, and you don't want anyone to think of the name Scarlet, which I'm like, Scarlet is not a name you made up. If you don't want everyone to know that you've named your child Daphne, then like, okay. I think Daphne's cute. I think people that should bring that word. I think Daphne and Audrey, those names need to come back into rotation personally. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Got a little Chardonnay. Okay. So we go through all those people, and then we've got Micah, who I'm like, ugh, I don't like her, and Izzy, which I just remember him being broke. That's the thing I remember from him. I don't remember what season he was on. But it's so interesting because I remember how they gave us season 2 and season 3 like really close together. And so some of them I thought were in the same season, but they weren't. Now, who wasn't there are the two girls from, I think, season 3, Natalie and it's not Deepra. Deep Pret. Yeah, happy birthday to me. I can't remember her name, but anyways, they have their own like podcast called Out of the Pods, where they kind of give background tea and information and stuff like that on the show. And I really like them. So maybe they're on the outs with the production company. Who knows, girl? Let me give you some like tea let me talk about them, and then we can get back to the actual reunion. So then we also find out that Chelsea no longer has her stressful job that keeps her away from Kwame. She is now part of casting for the show, and she, as an advocate for the show because it worked out for her. They've been now married for 2 years. She is like so happy to be able to do it. And I'm like, listen, I am happy for her. I'm very happy for her, but it's a very smart move on the show, right? To get somebody who's actually was successful. So there's that. Oh, lovely. My grandmother's name is Audrey. And I never met her, and my mom doesn't remember her because she died when my mom was so young. And then my mom's older sister just like kind of remembers her because again, she died when my mom's older sister was 6. And so I just always loved this name of this like woman that so many women who she birthed did not get to meet her, and so, or don't remember her. And like, I love the name. So if I ever had a child, I would name them Audrey, or at least their middle name, Audrey. I feel like it would be weird for Wahima to have a child named Audrey. So maybe just their middle name, or maybe I would name them something Garifuna, right? First name. And then the middle name is Audrey, but then we just call her Dre. Okay, anyways, that's my fantasy. Okay, so BJ says when you tell the name of the child before it's born, people are more critical because they think your mind can still be changed. When it's the actual name, people are more accepting and nicer. Oh. Okay. I get that. I get that because people always have a lot of opinions. I know that pregnant women get a lot of advice all the time. A lot of advice that they don't want and they didn't ask for. So that's interesting. Becca says that's a good point, BJ. People feel like they can tell you their opinions and thoughts and suggestions for a name if a baby isn't born yet. Interesting. What an interesting thing. Have I ever done that? No. Not that I can remember, and if I have, sorry for all those people. Yeah, Deep D. Yes, 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 Renee, that's her name. Natalie and Deep D. They have a podcast called Out the Pods. Check it out. Okay, so that's all that's happening with the couples. Bliss and the guy, I don't remember his name. They are happy, you know. He has been comforting her and it's they're very comfortable together at this point. The cast from that season still hang out tough, and so really happy for them. That's the same cast as Micah. So it's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if Micah's a part of the crew to go see Bliss, even though Micah's best friend was whatever her name was. Um Irina. So, anyways, lots of babies coming out of this situation. Happy for them. Now, Cameron went on TikTok. Cameron and Lauren, they went on TikTok season one because they're like low key the couple that everybody loved from season one. So Cameron and Lauren were not there, and everybody was like, "Why aren't they there?" So I went to TikTok, and Cameron says, "Hey, guess what? We were invited, but we're booked. Sorry, we had another obligation." I said, "Booked and busy." I hear that. I hear that. So that's why they didn't go. They love, Cameron says that they really are appreciative of the Love is Blind people. They think they're great people over there at the cast and crew and production. However, they had another engagement. So, and it had already been, it was probably paid. Also, it was probably a paid engagement one too. It was probably something they had booked like months out. So happy for them and happy for their love and whatever's happening in their marriage. Okay. Now, let's get on to the actual show. We spent enough time talking about the things that were unnecessary. Okay. So, where are my notes? I need to jump down. So, we start off with Sarah Ann and Laura drama. Okay. So Sarah Ann and Jeremy come out. He's wearing a stupid white suit. And then I mean he looks horrible. But between not having any facial hair and that outfit, Jeremy looked terrible. He looked like he had been on an all-night bender in Vegas on some like what's that movie, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? Like, that's what he looked like. It was bad. And I said, Sarah Ann, why do you let that man come on TV like that? And then his shoes, they were like a saddle brown cap toe. It was bad. I wish that his shoe was like a slip-on, like maybe a slip-on of a cool color, or like maybe in a cool, when I say cool color, I mean like literally a cool toned shoe. It I didn't want it to be velvet, but it could have been velvet, but he definitely needed a slip-on. It was just like so many bad things happening. That man needs facial hair or like a 5 o'clock shadow or like maybe some glasses. Like I like his like Ray-Ban glasses or his, I just there he needs more to him. He needs more to him. You guys, he looked washed out, unwashed, and unkempt. Okay. Then Sarah Ann comes out and she's wearing this Barbie pink dress and she's giving this homage. I mean, it's an homage to like 2003. Okay. It's a half up pony with like this down. I believe it was curled. Okay. And then you split the bang on the side and the bang is long and you tuck that behind the ear. I I think it was not a good move. I mean, listen, Cardi B does that sometimes because she's trying to give an homage, which I can only imagine to like 1997 Junior Mafia. But like, okay, I just thought it could have been better. I thought it was I just thought it could have been better. And so she comes out, and then Nick Lachey starts asking the hard-hitting questions. And let me tell you, overall, I was very shocked at how candid they were being. There was only one piece of online drama that they did not mention, and when we get to it, we'll talk about it. But they start talking about Sarah Ann and how she handled herself at the lake and how she handled herself overall. They asked her about the text that she sent to Jeremy, and they try to have a united front, right? But the cast, especially Chelsea, is not having it. Chelsea is like, "Oh, you guys are together today?" Because every time I hear you're not, and I said, "Oh shit." So what happened is that Sarah Ann must have been confiding, or Jeremy must have been confiding into somebody on that side of the couch, okay? And so Chelsea is just like rolling her eyes because she's like, "Okay, now you guys are together. Now you guys have this united front for your treachery." For your treachery. Sarah Ann doubled down and is just like, listen, we just talked. We did not do anything inappropriate, but I can absolutely see how that could be considered inappropriate. It's because the internet has been eating her up, eating them both up for the way that they did this. Okay, now Laura, who is in Madrid, girl, okay, it's late at night in Madrid, and she's come on in a gown, face beat. And so she's sitting there, and they're talking back and forth. And so her and Sarah Ann and Laura get into a little argument just about how everything went down and how Laura doesn't believe that Sarah Ann is a girl's girl because of the way it happened. Then we got a little snippet of an interaction between Laura and Sarah Ann at the lake, and Laura's like, listen, it's not you, it's him. He's the one who promised me things and broke his promise. However, you need to watch your back, girl, because he's not to be trusted. And Sarah Ann's like, okay, yeah, thank you. Like, what was your experience, like, and so Laura's like, at the end of that, I ended up feeling like I was trying to help her get with somebody, and it was weird. So we did talk about how Jeremy, did have a girlfriend before, because that was one of the online rumors, that he had a girlfriend before and engaged before, and that he sold his house and then bought a new house so that he could be there. They talk about sharing locations and, made a little joke about how, do you share your location with Sarah Ann? And he's like, yeah. And everyone's like, haha, I guess that's a thing he does, like a ploy he does to show his honesty. And then we had a little bit about how Laura thinks that Sarah Ann is a pick me girl, and Sarah Ann gets so upset. She's like, "I'm not pick me. I'm not pick me. No, 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 no." And then Jessica gets brought into it, and Jessica's like, "Listen, I get that I am like a little bit of a pot calling a kettle because of my conversation with Laura at the bar that one time when we were wearing matching outfits. However, I would have never done what you did, and that's crazy that you knew somebody had chosen someone else and was in a relationship and had gone to the DR, and then you still text them and say, or DM them and say, hey, if the door is still open. Like, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. And she keeps doubling down that she just doesn't think that she's wrong for it. So it's going around. I mean, Laura calls her a fucking clown. I mean, how do you come back from that? And they try, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. A robot clown. I mean, just like a crazy comment to call somebody. And I said, you know what? Unfortunately, Laura has the upper hand in this. And Sarah Ann, the only thing that she could have done to slightly make herself look much better is just to be like, you know what? Yeah, I did fuck up. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. There was other ways I could have done it. And I didn't do it right. And so she didn't do that because she didn't think she was wrong, which is crazy. Here's my thing though. Even if you don't think you're wrong, say it. Just say it. That's the thing some people just shoot themselves in the foot for. Just say you are wrong, even if you do not believe it. There is no reason to die on a hill about something that everyone is telling you you're fucking wrong about. But hey, I'm somebody who would like to keep my career. Okay, now, we then talk a little bit about how Jeremy was worried whether or not he was going to be the villain, but he ended up thinking that Jimmy was a bigger villain than him. And I was like, where? Why did you think Jimmy was going to be the villain? And Jimmy's like, well, that's news to me. And so we have this like weird interaction between Jimmy and Jeremy because things are coming out to the light that kind of makes it seem like Jeremy is doing a lot of shit talking on the side, and Jimmy is just like, how did my name get brought into it? I've got my own problems over here with these two women. What are you worried about you for? And the truth is like, we could have honestly brought, what's his name? The two that actually got married. We could have brought Johnny into the situation because Johnny is trying to be cool with everybody too. And the truth is that Johnny needs to choose fucking sides, in my opinion. Okay. So yeah, everyone does not like Jeremy and Sarah Ann, and it's very evident, and it's kind of key funny. Um Then they were like, all right, Laura, thank you so much for joining us, you know, for your time. She's like, wait a minute, no bean dip? So wait, Laura got the memo. Laura got the memo about the conversation and the whole thing surrounding bean dip. And Jeremy was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm sorry about that." Like he's like, "I said a stupid thing. I shouldn't have said it. I never meant to, you know." And Laura's like, "I never meant to, you know, talk about AD's body in that way. I really am sorry about that." And I said, good for you, Laura. Don't let that shit slide. If people are dragging you on the internet for something that you did, you come to the forefront and talk about it. And I thought that was really, really smart of her. Kudos to her in that fashion. I mean, she's still low-key a mean girl, but in this tell-all, because or reunion, because she wasn't actually there and they wanted to let her go, we didn't get as much Laura, Jessica drama. We didn't get as much as we wanted to, right? At least I didn't. If she had been there, it would have been fine. So Laura's dating somebody new now, Andrea, like a Spanish man, I hope. And good for her. So then we go on to the next drama. They call out Trevor, girl. And Trevor comes out. He sits down in between, I think. Oh, he sits next to Jessica, maybe? I'm not sure. And let me tell you, Nick Lachey was not having it. I felt like Nick was personally upset by what Trevor did. And I think maybe all the producers were, but the truth is if you go headhunting. Now, here's the truth. I don't know if they reached out to him or if he actually signed up for the show and they picked him. But they all felt some kind of way, it feels. Did you guys feel that way, that the producers felt some kind of way? So at least Nick did. So Nick was like, can you tell us what's going on? Because you signed up for this show and the spirit of this show is Love is Blind and you fully had a girlfriend. And he's like, and he's looking down the whole time. He's like, he will be a meme. I think if the internet is smart, he will be a meme. He's like, well, I had a whole speech prepared and now it's just flown out of my mind and I was dating somebody, but she wasn't my girlfriend. She was just somebody that I cared a lot about. I'm a toxic person. I am a toxic person. And I like he really just like did not have any answers for his behavior because he didn't want to come out and say, yes, I tricked. He was like, no, I really did come on here because for good and bad reasons, like for good and bad reasons. And Nick Lachey is like, so did you do it because you wanted to promote your business? And he's like, what business? And they're like, exactly. Like, what is going on? Why did you do that? And he's like, can I go? And Nick is like, sure, man. But answer one last question. Like, again, you had a girlfriend, you got on the show, then you text messaged her and said this immediately after and immediately before. So like, what's the deal? Did you not have intentions? What, Chelsea, what do you think about it? And Chelsea's like, well, I'm glad I didn't pick him, blah, 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 blah. Like, who cares, Chelsea? But he is so bad. He was so bad at it. He just didn't want to truly admit that he was the villain that he is because Trevor is a villain. And it would have been even worse if he had got on the show. But he could not even own up to his deception, his trickery. He couldn't own up to it, and it was very sad. And so he kept hemming and hawing and stumbling over words for a couple of more minutes, and then Nick is like, "Hey, you said you wanted to go. You can go, man." So he gets up and goes. Yikes! 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 Becca Kitty Meow says, "SRS though the show would be better if they didn't recruit from social media, and it makes way more sense why they were discussing the number of followers they had in the pods." Mhm. Miss Iffy says they really wanted to make Jimmy the villain, but failed as Chelsea was. Hilarious. That's so true. She was the villain. Okay. Mazcat, hello. Welcome to the chat. So yeah, it was weird. Trevor said, "Can I leave now?" as though he didn't volunteer to come. Did they force him here? Like, what do you mean, can I go? So he leaves. And then we go on to 80 and Clay. And 80 talks about how her and Clay had many conversations going up to this wedding and to the altar. And he had made promises to her that he wasn't going to embarrass her. And so she is like, so it was very confusing to me because I told him that I did not want to do this if he was thinking that he might not do it. So that's the part that it was frustrating between me and Clay, because we had had so many conversations and because I knew he was feeling certain ways, and maybe that got caught on camera, but then we would have other conversations in which he would tell me he was ready. And at the very least, that he would do this and try this with me to kind of push through his fears. So I went into this thinking that he was going to say yes, knowing that he had fears. And I know a lot of people were like judging AD and feel like she should have known better and whoop de whoop, blah, blah, blah. And I guess I just have some compassion for her and sympathy because, to a certain extent, and other Black women back me up, Black women are especially socialized to want to protect and support Black men, especially Black men that they deem to be good, and to help them through. There's a lot of rhetoric in our community that's like, you need to support your man, you need to help him through, you need to do this. And it's something that I do not subscribe to at all. I don't care. You need to have had therapy. I know it's not a thing in our community and most people don't have access to it, but unfortunately, I cannot help you be a better person. I don't have that skill set. Okay. So I get where she's coming from. I understand why she did it. I think it's just hard, especially when you want Black love and you want to find a partner within your own community that understands what you're going through and understands your, your pain as a dark skinned person or as a woman or as a person with like, just understand the things that you go through on a daily basis, and they only just have a little bit of issues that they may need to work through, but you feel like you can help them through it, and they're communicative to you and you feel some kind of way. Like, to me, him saying that he wasn't sure about her financial shit was like really annoying to me. And him saying like, I don't think I'm right to be a husband these days. And then we get a snip of him talking to Brett, because Brett and Sleepy Girl were there, and he's like, you're the couple that I was watching, and I realized that I wasn't ready for what this thing of marriage is called. But I'm like, damn, you know how many men are not ready? You know how many women are not ready for marriage and they just get married? Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm saying people who feel like they're not ready for it do it all the time. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to end up not being the right person or they're going to end up divorced. This idea, again, that I said at the beginning of this, that when you get into a marriage, it must be forever, is crazy to me. Like, we should normalize divorce when it's time. We should normalize people breaking up when it's time, because all parties will be happier. Now, I don't know the effects on children. I hear, a lot of people who are, children of divorce feel very, very betrayed by it. But, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, so she felt some kind of way about it, and I just think everybody. Oh, I just saw this. Hey, unfortunately, in spite of all that, she is still allegedly with him. The thing is, though, like, I don't think that's wrong for her to still be with him. Like, she's getting a lot of flack for that. That is her choice if she wants to. Like, I just don't feel the need to judge her so much for wanting to work. And I don't even know if they're good at it. You're the first person who's ever said this to me, paper tape. So no shade, no shade to you at all. But even if that is true, I don't feel the need to insert myself in this and feel like negative towards her because of it. And I think a lot of the internet does feel this thing to be like, well, she shouldn't do it. So if he treats her poorly, it's on her. No, if he treats her poorly, it's on him. It's not on her for having faith. Now, again, we're socialized to be a certain way, and maybe she saw a future with him, and maybe he's the best that she's ever been with, and so maybe she can work with it and help him. I don't know this rumor, so I don't know. Anyways, so we have this conversation like that. Then we go to him and he says that, you know, he just stumbles around a lot, honestly. Just like stumbles around being like, I love AD, she's the love of my life. I shouldn't have did that. I highly regret it. And she's like, boy, bye. Don't come over here and say now you regret it. And I would feel the same way. Like stand 10 toes down. They needed to ask him about her financials now. That's what I want to know. So he's just like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I thought I was doing the right thing, but now I realized and I made a fool of her, or like he didn't say that, but like I realized I hurt her really bad. And watching it back and seeing the way it behaved is really different. And I would do things so much differently now. And again, I said she's the love of my life. And so apparently like they are in contact again, but it's because he reached out to her and he reached out to her a few times and I guess she ignored him a few times. And so listen, if two people want to work through whatever toxic or seemingly toxic situation that they've got going on, as long as no one's truly getting hurt besides like emotions, these are things that adults need to go through and you just need to be able to do it. Now, do I want to hear about it? No. Do I want to see another season or another reality show of AD and Clay? Absolutely not. At this point, they need to take their shit to the privacy of the privates. I don't care at this point because I know that to me, what happened and how it went down was not good for me. However, if she's able to forgive him and they're able to go on and have a loving, amazing relationship out of this, Godspeed. Godspeed. Okay. Oh, he says she created a safe space so I could be the person I wanted to be. Okay. So then we go to the cast of characters that we didn't need, and they ask Jimmy about Chelsea and the betrayal. And he's like, I couldn't get over it. The truth is I tried to get over it, but I couldn't get over it. And it makes me feel bad because he put the relationship with my friend on blast. And he does speak to the fact that he does have male friends and that he could have brought other people. And I can't remember exactly why. But he just talks about how, that wasn't the right thing. And you know what? Chelsea says that the way she did it was wrong, but that was the way she was feeling. And so she should be allowed to say how she's feeling if it's on or off camera. And everyone kind of agrees with her because they're like, guys, these are our real lives. Like, we're real people. We should be able to say like whatever. And so like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't agree. I don't agree. If we agree not to put someone else's information on blast in public, then we agree to not put someone else's information on blast in public. And I personally think that he had no reason to tell her at all. I mean, because all it was going to do was cause drama. I personally think he had no reason to tell her at all, but that's just me because I don't need to know things if I don't need to know. If they don't affect me and there's really no whatever, why do I need to know that? Especially if I didn't directly ask you. Now, if she directly asked him, hey, have you ever had sex with any of your friends? Okay, he can't lie. But if he was just like, I need to tell you something because I don't want it to come out later and you get upset, like then it was unnecessary to me. So then we have a little fight between Jimmy and Jessica, which was so unexpected. Apparently, Jessica and Chelsea are bestie now. Autumn calls her Auntie Chelsea. So they're besties right now. And Jessica says that she thought that her and Jimmy were on like good terms until he went and did some interview where he said that part of the reason why he didn't want to be with her was because after 10 minutes of them having a conversation one day, she stormed out. And Jessica's like, that did not happen. You went on this show and I've been very kind to you in every interview that I've done. And the first opportunity you get, it feels like you just all of a sudden decided to talk shit about me. And I don't understand why. Why would you say that I did that when that didn't happen? He's like, well, you did, Chelsea and Jessica. And she's like, no, I didn't. Run the tapes back. And he's like, well, it felt like it. It felt like maybe 30 minutes. Okay, not 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And she's like, no, we were talking. I told you that I didn't want to have to convince you to be with me. And that's what it was feeling like. And then I said, okay, we should end. But that was after an hour and a half of us on a date. And he's like, oh, I don't really want to, I don't know. Like he tries to like backpedal out of it instead of just being like, I'm sorry. Girl, let me tell you, the Love is Blind people did what they had to do. And they actually proved that she was right and he was wrong, that it wasn't 10 minutes and that it was for an hour and 23 minutes. And then they took an 8-minute break and then they talked for 15 more minutes. And then she said very graciously that they needed to call it a night. And that was a total time of 2 hours and 21 minutes. See, this is the shit that bothers me. I don't like it when people deny that something happened when that's how it happened. Just because you don't remember the way it happened doesn't mean that you just get to make up the way it happened. Just because it felt like something doesn't mean that it was something. That's the shit that makes me mad. And so I understand why she's mad at Jimmy, and now I'm pissed at him too. Because if you can't get your timelines right, if you can't tell the story in the way that it happened because you're emotional, then don't tell the fucking story. That's how I feel. Okay. So then we move on to Chelsea being Megan Fox and how she's being dragged for that. And somebody was like, well, I guess I kind of do see it. Ha ha ha. And I just like, girl, she does not look like Megan Fox. I could see it because she's dark hair with light eyes. But even now, she's more of a redhead than anything. She looks like Megan Fox from here up. Okay. So then Brittany is like, finally, it's my time. I think someone asked a question from the audience or whatever, and they were like, she was like, great, time for me. So we find out that her and Kenneth are good friends. They talk every single day, and they even talk about how when they get significant others, this might affect them, them being so close. And I'm like, is she still trying to beard him? Because they do not talk at all. This is the rumor they do not talk about, is the fact that there's a whole rumor, and maybe it's on the black side of TikTok, I do not know, that Kenneth is on the down low. There's like video allegedly of him speaking the way he naturally speaks and then speaking in that lower registered voice. So like they didn't talk about it at all. And I understand why. I'm not saying they needed to go into detail about it, but what I am saying is that they needed to just like mention it. Like, for the record, Kenneth, are you gay? No, whatever, right? But they didn't touch that shit at all. Now, I don't know if like what the situation is with Kenneth. This is the truth. I don't know. And I'm not saying we need to know. I'm just saying that like if they're going to talk about rumors, they need to talk about all the rumors. Oh, I unplugged it. My back hurts. My neck specifically. Yes, I am TikTok fluenced. But I bought this off of Amazon. Apparently it's cheaper on TikTok, but sometimes TikTok be taking a long time to get you your stuff. Because if you don't know where it's coming from, it could be coming from China, it could be coming from Amazon. You don't know. Anyway, so I really wanted that to work in that moment. Okay, anywho, so they didn't talk about that at all. Now, they did talk about how, the reason why he was on his phone so much when he got back is because he is such a dedicated principal that his children and his parents and his teachers are not used to not having him for so long. And so because they're so not used to it and they're hanging off of his every move, that he had to just acknowledge them. He had to talk to them. And I'm just like, that sounds like too much, my friend. You can't go away for 3 weeks without feeling indebted or feeling like you've let how many students do you have? Is this a small school? Is this a school that your parents created? Like, how many parents and teachers and students are you responding to? I do not get it. It just didn't make any sense to me. Now, at some point, when they talk about the fact that Kenneth and Brittany are friends, are cool, and Kenneth talks about the fact that he was crying about the breakup to Clay because everybody on the streets is saying that he gaslit her and he didn't show any emotions, and we all saw it. So he's like, no, I called Clay crying. There was a moment where they get in pan to Clay and AD, and Clay hits AD, and AD goes, and I only imagine it's because they had some kind of conversation, and Clay probably said, yo, that dude really likes her, and AD's like, no, he doesn't. And then like Clay's like, see, I told you. And AD's like, okay, whatever, you're right. I don't know. That's the only thing that I could glean from that little interaction. But I just don't understand Brittany and Kenneth at all. I don't know what's happening with them. I don't it just felt really weird and fake. How are they best friends? Why are they best friends? What is the need of them in each other's lives? What do they add to each other's lives after he did what he did? It feels like we're missing something. It feels like we're missing something. 3 weeks during a school year is wild in the first place. The better question is, why did you do LIB then? Great. I think the Lachey's could have asked more questions without outing Kenneth. At a minimum, his excuse about why he was on the phone so often was weak, as well as his coldness during the breakup. Yep, yep, yep. I agree. I agree. See, now I just don't want to out him. Like that's the thing. Like I'm not saying that we needed to like press it, but like acknowledge it. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. I don't want there to be any kind of drama with the community. So, then they kind of let them go. They're best friends. Why? I want to know what that relationship is. I want to know like in Christ, are they best friends in Christ? Do they go to church? Does he minister to her? Do they hold Bible study? Like I need to know something. Okay, so then we have a little bit about Matthew and AD. They showed the tapes of Matthew kind of saying the same things to AD as he did Amber. And it wasn't quite verbatim, but it was the same sentiment. AD says that she went on a date with Matthew and she's like, he's cute, y'all. And then they keep panning to Clay because they want to get his reaction because Clay is not feeling Matthew at all. And then she says, like, yeah, we went on 2 dates and it's done. The only reason why he first, well, he wanted to apologize for what he did, which is fair. I liked it. The secondly is that he runs his life very different than me. Like he's very regimented down to the minute. And I could absolutely see that. He's very calculated, regimented down to the minute. And she's like, that didn't work for me. Like, listen, I'm regimented too, but like I can be movable. He cannot. He wants everything to be perfect. And she's like, so our lifestyles didn't work. But he made food for me. And Nick is like, oh, did that endear you to him that he cooked for you? And she's like, well, he made rice and chicken. And I want to know more about this rice and chicken. Was it bland? Yes. Was it just like white rice or was it jollof? Was it at least a little Spanish rice? Was it a little rice that had some seasoning to it? You know what I'm saying? What kind of rice was it? And this chicken, was it chicken breast? Probably. Was it dry? I'm assuming. Rice and chicken, not a pasta dish with some sabor? Rice and chicken, girl. Rice and chicken. I can't. Oh, rice and chicken? I need to know more about this rice and chicken. Chicken. Was it roasted broccoli on the side? Did he add a little, squeeze a little lemon, put some parmesan? What was it? Rice and chicken is just crazy. Crazy. The way she said it, we were like, no seasoning, girl. Sans the season. Okay. So then we start to talk more about whatever the people I already talked about in the beginning, and then they toast. I'm not above you, I'm not below you, but I'm right here with you. Salud. And another season of Love is Blind down. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be talking about Seeking Sister Wife in about 30 minutes. So if you would like to join me there, please do so. Again, if you were watching this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you got the hee hee ha ha's throughout it and you want to give your girl a tip, you can do so down below. It was a pleasure talking about this show with you guys. Now we're going to move on to Seeking Sister Wife. We also can talk about Happily Ever After. Not in this one, but sometime this week. I'm two episodes behind, but I'm ready to go. You feel me? So you guys have a fantastic today. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Shake, shake.